BPL
Now, the next verse, 52, is related to our emotions of desire, longing, attachment on one side, and aversion or hatred on the other side. Saying that the appearances related to attachment and aversion are like the flight of a bird in space without any trace left behind. This type of experience is without any attachment, even from Tingri. So here, the situation is that in our mind we have various types of emotions popping up, and sometimes we are filled with longing and attachment, greed, where at other times it is aversion, anger, or hatred. And according with those emotions, we have objects or targets related to those emotions. So there's the appearances related to attachment and the appearances related to aversion. However, then these emotions, they motivate us to interact with the appearance, and we commit certain actions. We entangle ourselves in certain activities. Yet when we look closer into the situation, while we have performed this action, already the very sensation of attachment and anger has changed. It's gone, has dissolved. So those emotions of desire and aversion do not stay. They're impermanent and they dissolve. When they dissolve and disappear, they don't leave any imprint as such. Nothing can be found at the place where they have been appearing. And they are, in that sense, very much like a bird that takes off into open space, where we can observe the flight of the bird, but no trace is left behind. Now, the second line of this verse of Padambasanje instructs us, as a consequence of this situation, that we should not take for true or be attached to experiences. Here, in the particular sense, experiences that derive as a side effect of our training and exercise. When doing a training or meditational exercise, one is bound to have experiences, and they fall into the three great categories of blissful experience, experience of extreme lucidity, and experiences of non-thought or no thought, not thinking, empty experience. And there's no basic problem involved with having such an experience. They're necessary side effect of meditation. However, there's no reason, on the other hand, to take those experiences to be true or somewhat permanent. no reason to be attached to those experiences as they are not the goal in no way. They're just the mere side effects along the meditation path. Now the next verse points to Dharmakaya as the unborn, being like the core of the sun itself. There is no further illumination nor darkening of this light people from Tingri. And this is to say that Dharmakaya here is essentially the nature of all sentient beings. Dharmakaya stands here for what we say is the potential of enlightenment that every single being is endowed with. This is also called the element, the basic element that makes up sentient beings. This is also called the inheritage of enlightenment that we all have. The seed for enlightenment. Many more terms are given, Tathagata Garbha, and this potential is likened to be the sun, so the core of the sun, as the sunlight in its center is always brilliant and undisturbed, although the sunlight sometimes is not visible by the influence of a layer of clouds covering it. Yet, looking at the cloudy sky, we all know that behind the clouds, the sunlight is unblurred, is never deteriorated by the clouds, and never ever the clouds and the sun blend into a mixture where one is polluting the other. So behind the clouds there's always brilliant light of the sun, and temporarily the light is not visible. This is the analogy that applies to the nature of all sentient beings. The primordially immaculate nature of all sentient beings is the potential of Buddhahood. That temporarily is not visible at this point. It is covered by mental obscurations. They're called instantaneous, or they are temporary defilements that cover up the basic pure nature of beings in much like a way of a husk that is covering the seed. Knowing this, we understand that although we cannot directly see our own potential at this point, behind those mental obscurations, our basic nature is ever unpolluted and completely immaculate. Now, as the second line shows, in that very bright light of the core of sun, equal to our own immaculate Buddha nature, therein is no increase, no decrease, no becoming lighter or darker since from the very beginning, primordially, this nature is pure. Something that is totally pure from the very beginning has never known any increase nor decrease, nor is there the need to remove stains within, nor the need to improve the clarity. It has always been perfect. Now the next verse says, thoughts or concepts arising as enemies are much like the thieves that visit an empty house. Nor wealth or possession is to be lost or obtained there, people from Tingri. This points to the fact that points to a situation where first we might think of being entrusted with the task to sit in a house, somewhere a lonely house, let's say, where we have heard of that there's a lot of possession in there, maybe a lot of money somewhere hidden and a lot of material or wealth stored in this house, and we're sitting in this house and knowing and thinking that this house contains a lot of wealth. We also believe that this could be a target for thieves and robbers. And while we're staying there lonely in this place, in the night, we might have difficulties to fall asleep. And occasionally we wake up with a fear. We hear some sound in the house, we hear some cracking here and there, and we believe that maybe a person is approaching and trying to break in. A lot of worry and sorrow and pain comes to our mind due to the idea that there is some wealth to lose in this house and could be the object of attack of thieves. Now ourselves still trapped in this house, the night, lonely, we experience all kinds of sound effects around. There is this sound, this prolonged grinding, a sound that we believe that suddenly someone is slowly trying to open the door. And we're just frozen by fear. Then slowly we take our heart and we look around the corner. Nobody to be seen. The next time we hear this tapping, repetitive sound, that we are totally sure of that someone is slowly walking through our corridor. And when we look again in fear and terror, we can't see anyone. We are haunted by all those various effects of sound, and we see people and robbers and thieves everywhere. This situation shows that all those people that seemingly break into our environment are but the imagination, the product of our mind, mere fantasy. And this is the situation also that is called imaginations or thoughts becoming our own enemies.
좀 천천히 나랑 내가 내려오게 나랑 그 쭉 내가 빼보자. 그러라 양 천천히 나오다.
좀 내가 빼보다.
내가 빼보자. 안 내가 나오로 봐요. 와.
근데 아주 중고인 남이나 그래서 로바다 그래.
맞나? 그다음 좀 많이 한 공부도 맞지 나와라. 나도 잘 랑죠. 천천히 영문이 말아 나도 잘 랑죠. 배나 나르게 또 빼보자. 나랑 생각하면은 그런 가요면 나는 사고. 나름 때라 땅이 가면도 대 먹어봐라 때는 어른 생각 나도 잘 코로나니냐 해우더니 나라 좀 나도 때에서 그 나라 가가 말이지 그 먹어봐 남자 때에서 나와 야 깨자지 뭐는 깨자지 땀이 희나야 그 뒤땀이 나를 라비려 그 나라 가고 말이 그 나라 된다와 내가 로봇 농사다고 옛날에 내가 그때는 강문 나고 있어서 못하나 제발해. 내가 왔더니 바로 보면게 얘하면 하고 오면도 얘는 나로 생각 먹어봐라. 얘는 된다고 너도 다르랑.
Another situation, this is different from being alone in that house, this lonely house in the night where we believe the ghosts and robbers protect us. The other situation is to be right in the center of people. Let's say we are a person that has to supervise a group of other servants or workers, and at times there are some people or some workers that we truly do not like. We have no clue whatsoever what is happening in the mind of that person, but we're sure that we don't like that person. So anyhow, based on this basic aversion that we entertain, then we have all kinds of deception. We see that person approaching us, and surely that person has a very grim face. Looks very dark. And also, before we saw this person talking to some others down in the yard, so it looked very much like they were talking about me. They were talking behind my back. Why did he not look at me this morning, did not respond to my glance? Certainly he's very angry and not planning something. So this type of paranoid thoughts that come in the middle of people based on our own dislike of others happen without any clear reason, since we do not know what's going on in the mind of the other person. There's a clear product of our own imagination. Another example for concepts and thoughts arising as our own enemies.
I did that again, not to dollar wrong like the church to you. I'm got he I don't know, Magala, not the Magala, don't see you. Then I think, Kale, do dinner, then I can hackle. I don't say when I'm doing no horrible Magala.
Certainly, it is possible that some people don't like us. And as things go, then they might talk bad and plan bad or evil things behind our back. However, we do not know that initially this is just a mere product of our fantasy. And sometimes they may be true, sometimes not. The course of time will show what happens. Then we will see whether it was a mere imagination, a mere fantasy or hallucination, or whether those people really do bad things against us.
공바 똥바이나 가요 말이 저요 말이 시요 말 가가요 공바 똥바이나 달콤하지 뒤는 땡지 이가 반드스다 네? 저 톱요요 말 저요요 말 가요 말이 또 뱅거 예지 몰라 그렇다면 땡겨요.
So this is it.
non to da long ke non to de nga sin ta ko mo to ne ki ke mo ka yo.
That situation where we discover that our own concepts and thoughts arise as our enemies, that we are victim of our own paranoid thinking. This situation, in an analogy, is like thieves or robbers breaking into an empty house. So, informs us Padamba Sangye, those thieves and robbers certainly attack that house because they think that therein they will find a great amount of wealth to steal. So they break into the house with great effort and force, yet will not find anything, run up and down through the building, and they have to leave it soon without finding anything, without that anything is lost. No harm, no benefit arose from those thieves, since the house was empty in the first place. Our thoughts, a paranoid type of thoughts, are like this, instructs Padamba Sangye, no wealth to be lost nor obtained.
Ni ce gon ji ma cha. So wa ji wi chue ye de mo. Ko yin ni me do deng re ma. So wa de de ta. Ta so wa cha la. Mun ra wa mo bo song le. Yen na so wa tang ji ju, yin na so wa de le de so wa de do ma de so. Ni ge do tang ji ju. Ha ti so wa de wa ka ka so na na so wa de wa nya. Ka ka so wa dong han nya so mo. Ta ti 영수 용도 저와 대도 소수로 저와 영수 용이 영수 용 찬이 저도 대화다 동안 저와 야한로
The next verse talks about our sensation. Sensations are without any trace left behind, like painting or drawing into the surface of water. Don't hold on to the illusory appearances, people from Tingri. Here, the subject is the multitude of sensations that we experience. And if we categorize them, certainly one half belongs to the pleasant sensations and one half to the unpleasant sensations of suffering. Happiness and suffering are the two main types of sensations that we experience. So whatever it may be, at one moment the sensation is there, and when we look closer, already it's gone. It doesn't stay, and then this sensation, where is it gone? It has not left any trace or imprint. Nothing to be found in its place. Much like the drawing with the finger in the surface of water.
얘는 remote 사는 나서 봐야 돼. 저게 remote 배대견도 풀모 인지면도 되려와. 소화돼도 좀 동기 풀모 잘해 나는 풀모. 풀모 잘해. 풀모도 봐야 잘해. 나는 때에 기술 좀 가서
Now, as is the case with those sensations or emotions, assuming we have felt those feelings enough, and the feelings are felt all the way through, then they're gone, and nothing is left behind. No trace to be found anymore of that feeling. And we could try it ourselves and just move your finger along the surface of water and try to paint or draw something in there. The line that you draw, no sooner you draw, it will be lost and gone, dissolved in water again. The same thing applies to our feelings, and the advice that Padamba Sangye links to that situation is do not hold on or do not follow those elusive appearances, knowing that the popping up or flashing of emotions and feelings, sensations is but a delusion, is a mere deception of mind, and nothing whatsoever is substantial there and leaves a trace. Just let it go and do not follow this delusive appearance. Now the next verse says, habitual thinking or patterns of thoughts of remembering, recollection are like the patterns of a rainbow right in the sky. With those targets of our attachment that we believe to be true, nothing can be found as identifiable substance. People from Tingri. Talking about mental habits or habitual patterns of thoughts, this is something that arises in situations where we stay a long time together with some objects or some people, and we have been used to people by being long-term friends. Yet at one point we separated. And still after we have been separated, those thoughts, those images come back to our own mind and tell us, oh, how was the time when we so nicely stayed together? This is called habit of mind. And this habitual tendency in the patterns of mind, of recollection, are like the patterns of rainbow in the space of sky. Now, as it is the case with this type of habits of repetitive thoughts that recall previous situations, in fact, this is but the tendency, the repetitive tendency of longing, desire, that brings up the images to our mind. Yet, looking closer, there is nothing to be found behind this attachment that could serve as a target of this attachment. This is long gone. No identifiable or an object of this attachment or thought is there. Nothing that we can take for true anymore. This may be enough for this afternoon's teaching. So if you want to relate to us a story. Now, this story leads us back to ancient times in India, the time of a great learned man, Mahapandita Kamalashila. Kamalashila was also famous for being an extremely handsome looking person.
아니 뒤에 가라다니 나가라. 요 남아 제발기. 아니 종juk 남아도. 아니 생기 수인나요. 그 히타를 그로 싸바기요나. 뒤 로디노 나랑 넘버 히타죠. 나랑 공부했잖아요. 어땠다고 그 남바기 요래지.
Now, this was the same time when still an instruction, a very special instruction, was known to some people, enabling those who knew this instruction to transfer their consciousness in a specific way that when they found the corpse of a just died other sentient being, they could transfer their consciousness from their own body into the body, the corpse of that other being, leaving behind their own body.
뒤에 가라다니 정체 첨보지 도저든지 저 첨보는 것들이 이제 대부분 뒤 정체 뒤는 거는 저 아, 해서는데 뒤에 뭐뭐 상태게 다 도저히 따라 시험도 되고 무슨 인간이나 뒤에 저마라서 그 잠만 뭐뭐나 하는 거라서 이제 저 첨보 되고
As things go, then at this time, right in a great city, a huge snake appeared and just died there in the city, causing a lot of distress to the inhabitants of the city as they thought that soon this corpse will rot and will stink and a lot of infections and epidemic will evolve from the corpse of this snake. So they were in great worry.
아니 뒤에 가서 까만라시라게 단디 다른 게 종족지네 이게 도저게 로데 탄정사들 야 폐적을 짜적을 너무 까만라시라 공리게 고동게 풍부다가 호리 넘버 시바데 도저를 놓는 지네 도저도 사실 잠마잖아 나이송아
Now, in Kamalashila, hearing about this situation, the thought arose that it would be the perfect occasion to exercise this instruction of transference of consciousness into another corpse. Then he could just dispose the body of the snake by being in the snake himself and move to another place out of the sight of the citizens of this area. And so he did. He left behind his own body, went with his consciousness into the corpse of the snake and disappeared.
다데 까말라시라 종주지송한테 내가 사두들지 내가 안쪽나 땅나 아는 땅에 라바에 토두가 뺏기 내가 사두지 보타나 요래 나 거기에 까말라시라 종주지한테 하고 저렇게 내심다 하고 요래 내가 까말라시라 때문에 만반지 뭐야 보여도 다 사두되게 종주지는 까말라시라 그것은
Now, as things go, then there was a person also around, an Indian sadhu, a wild guy with earrings and widely hairs knotted on the top of his head, and he observed the situation and found that obviously Kamalashila has transferred his consciousness. He himself also was owner of this instruction, and he thought of this as the perfect occasion to obtain such a beautiful body. So he moved his own consciousness in the body of Kamalashila and ran away.
아니 까말라시라 공이구만 다 저데파 타르사티 다 남을히가 추세운도 다 공부요 말이 다 지사마 파서 다 가는 다나 사두도 기요래 다 되는 지소 왜 파타마티 아다 파타마라 내가 당가 아무 토주노 땡기마 여기 뭐고 이제 파타마다 이제 사두서 그러니 내 말도 까마시라
Now what happened then, Kamalashila, having successfully completed his task to dispose the body of the snake, attempted to return to his own body, which was not to be found anywhere anymore. The only thing he could find nearby was the corpse of this wild yogi. So we couldn't help but enter the body of this guy with the earrings and this wild knot of hairs on top of the head. And then, having this body, from that time onwards, he was known as Padamba Sangye.
Then he did go try, and I am trying.
So, gibt's dazu Fragen?